Good evening and welcome to our nightly telecast of Just the News, where we give you only the information about what happened today without any screaming, shouting or drama. Let's get straight to it. Our first story comes in from Maharashtra. The state of Maharashtra has issued fresh guidelines about COVID regulations. According to these new guidelines, which will be applicable from 8 p.m. on the 20th of April up to the 1st of May, it says that grocery, vegetable, fruit, meat, egg shops, dairies, bakeries, confectionaries, pet food supplies will now only be open between 7 a.m. in the morning and 11 a.m. Home delivery from these shops, of course, will be available up till 8 p.m. in the evening. Also, the Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope has said ministers have requested the Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray of Maharashtra to impose a complete lockdown in the state starting 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. He said, and I quote, "We've made our request. It is now up to the Chief Minister to take the final call." Tope was quoted on ANI. The Supreme Court has put on hold the Allahabad High Court order for a week-long lockdown until the 26th of April in 5 districts of Uttar Pradesh, that's Prayagraj, Lucknow, Varanasi, Kanpur Nagar and Gorakhpur. The Supreme Court asked the Uttar Pradesh government to submit before the Allahabad High Court the various steps the state government has taken to control the pandemic within the next 1 week. The Uttar Pradesh government told the bench that if the order of the Allahabad High Court is carried out, it will create immense administrative difficulties and that a lockdown by judicial order may not be the right approach. Uttar Pradesh recorded 28,000 new cases in the last 24 hours and 167 deaths, although there have been questions about whether or not these are in fact the accurate numbers. The Delhi High Court expressed its discontent over the huge wastage of vaccine in the country and has asked the central government to vaccinate whomsoever it can in order to ensure there is no wastage. The bench of Justices Vipin Sanghi and Rekha Pali, according to news reports, said the daily wastage of 6% of vaccines have added up until now to 44 lakh doses of vaccines out of the 10 crore that have been wasted. Maximum wastage has come from the state of Tamil Nadu. The court told the central government that give it to whoever wants it. Whomsoever you can vaccinate, please vaccinate. Whether a 16-year-old to a 60-year-old, all need vaccination. The pandemic does not discriminate, end quote. The court also observed that young people are being affected more this time and a lot of young lives have been lost. A day after the Telangana High Court expressed its discontent over the state's response to COVID, the state government has now imposed a night curfew in Telangana from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. every day starting today until the 30th of April. Yesterday, the High Court asked the government to take a call on imposing a night curfew or a weekend lockdown in the state and also warned that if the government failed to act within the next 48 hours, the court would pass the necessary orders. During the night curfew period, all offices, restaurants, shops will have to shut down. Only those involved in essential services can continue to function. According to a news report in The Hindu, the newspaper, construction on the new Parliament building, which is being built adjacent to the existing building, will continue even after the Delhi government has banned construction during a lockdown that was announced yesterday. The government in Delhi has prohibited any construction activity in the city until the 26th of April, except for projects where workers are living on site. A spokesperson of Tata Projects Limited, which is constructing this new building, has been quoted saying that workers are staying on site and permissions for construction have been granted, so construction will continue. Earlier, the same workers were at a camp at Serai Khale Khan and they were taking the metro to the work site, so they've obviously been relocated. This has raised questions about the priorities of the central government that insists on continuing construction on this 20,000 crore rupee project in spite of the health crisis in the country. In a bid to accelerate its vaccination campaign and the campaign across India, Bharat Biotech has revamped its production capacity to 700 million doses per year. Now, Bharat Biotech's current capacity is 10 million doses a year or 1 crore doses a year. It's taking it up to 70 crores. According to a report at the PTI, the company has said that manufacturing scale-up has been carried out in a stepwise manner across multiple facilities in Hyderabad and Bangalore. The Hyderabad-based firm has said it has partnered with Indian Immunologicals to manufacture the drug substance that it needs for Covaxin. The current capacity, like I said, which has been pegged at about 1 crore or 10 million doses per year, is being scaled up 70x. According to the Ministry for Science and Technology, the current production capacity of indigenously developed Covaxin will be doubled by May-June 2021 and then increased 6 or 7-fold by July and August. A quick look at all of the announcements that have come in on examinations. The ICSE has cancelled Class 10 board examinations because of the pandemic. This comes after the board had previously announced that these exams would be optional. It had, remember, told you it had caused a lot of confusion. The new dates for Class 12 examinations will be announced in June. The Education Minister, Ramesh Nishank, has announced that the UGC NET exams, which were scheduled to begin on the 2nd of May, have now been postponed. The UGC NET is conducted by the National Testing Agency, which has said candidates will be informed about the new date 15 days in advance. The exams are conducted to determine eligibility of assistant professors in various universities. Karnataka's Minister for Primary and Secondary Education, Suresh Kumar, has announced that there will be no examinations at all for classes 1 to 9, and a continuous comprehensive evaluation program will be used to decide who gets promoted. Schools are expected to complete their result process by the 30th of this month, and summer vacations will begin on the 1st of May. Class 10 board examinations for the state syllabus or the SSLC exams will be held between June 21st and July 5th as scheduled. Maharashtra Education Minister Varsha Gaikwad has announced that the government has decided to cancel Class 10 board examinations for the state syllabus. An update from the farmer protest. The Samyukt Kisan Morcha, which is an umbrella association of 40 different farmer associations, has announced a resistance week starting today. It has also invited more farmers to reach the protest site. The Bharatiya Kisan Union, the BKU, has also urged farmers to intensify the agitation at the Tikri border. According to a report of the Hindustan Times, the SKM has said that because it's the harvesting season, farmers had returned to their villages. There are indications that the government is plotting to end the farmer movement on the pretext of the COVID pandemic, end quote. This comes after the Delhi government announced a week-long curfew, which would apply also to the borders where these farmers are camping. Farmers' protest, remember, started in November on the 26th last year against the 3 farm bills brought in by the central government. We look now at news coming in from the world of business. Ahead of the phase 3 vaccination drive that the central government announced yesterday, the Indian government is likely to waive off the 10% customs duty it levies on imported vaccines in order to reduce the cost of vaccines coming in from overseas. According to PTI, overseas vaccines up till now were being charged a 10% customs import duty along with 16.5% IGST and a social welfare surcharge that is likely to be rationalized at this point. State-run life insurer LIC has now appointed Paytm to facilitate all of its digital payments. LIC had earlier tied up with another payment gateway but has now made a deal with Paytm for most of its payments, which will now be routed through digital modes. According to sources in a Times of India report, at least 17 payment platforms had bid for LIC's contract. Paytm's wide range of payment services helped it bag that contract. Reports also say LIC has around 8 crore digital transactions at the moment. That figure is likely to go up in the future. After Citibank had announced that it will exit its retail operations in India and 12 other countries on the 16th of April, the company has now said its consumer banking business and credit cards division of the country will operate as usual. The official, who was providing a clarification on the impact of consumer operations as a result of Citigroup's recent announcement, has basically referred to that statement and said that as far as the consumer bank is concerned, it will be able to avail of usual services till a buyer or a buyers or multiple buyers are found for its business after the approval of the RBI. There will be no immediate change to our operation and no immediate impact to our colleagues as a result of this announcement, Citibank India CEO Ashok Kullar has said in a statement. Moving on now to news coming in from across the world at this point. The US has advised its citizens to avoid traveling to India altogether, even if they are fully vaccinated. The country's Center for Disease Control and Prevention has put India on level 4, or very high category, of their classification of COVID-19 levels in foreign countries. The United Kingdom has also added India to its red list of travel. And earlier this month, New Zealand had restricted travellers from India due to a spike in infections. 2021 must be the year of action to protect people against the disastrous effects of climate change. This is a report from the UN on Monday. It comes ahead of a crucial US-convened climate summit that will start this week. Time is running out to tackle the climate crisis, the UN had warned, because the COVID-19 pandemic apparently has failed to put the brakes on relentless climate change. Now, according to this report, 2020 has been described as one of the hottest years on record, and this is in spite of the fact that everyone stayed home and flights didn't fly and a lot of activity didn't happen, suggesting to the UN that we are running out of time to solve this problem. News now from the world of science and technology. NASA's experimental helicopter Ingenuity rose into the thin air above the dusty red surface of Mars on Monday. Now, this is the first powered flight by an aircraft on another planet. This brief hop, it was about a 39-second flight of 10 feet, just checkboxed all of those major milestones. Now, this is an $85 million helicopter, which was considered a high-risk, high-reward project, and it took 6 years to build it. It's tiny, this helicopter. It's 19 inches tall. It's a 4-leg sort of spindly helicopter, and its entire fuselage, which is batteries, heaters, sensors, everything is the size of a tissue box. It's also attached to its wing a piece of fabric from the first ever aircraft to fly by the Wright brothers on Earth. Now, scientists cheered the news from across the world and also from space. Moving on now to news coming in from the world of sports. Major drama unfolding in the football sporting world. UEFA is expected to expel Real Madrid, Manchester City and Chelsea from the Champions League, and Manchester United and Arsenal from the Europa League. An executive member of the UEFA committee told news outlets. Now, this comes after 12 European clubs intend to set up a breakaway European Super League to challenge the Champions League and UEFA, as it is left raging to discuss other options with its executive committee in the meeting. The European Super League, which is set to be a 20-member team competition replacing UEFA Champions League, is planned to begin as early as 2023-24. 12 clubs who have signed up for this European Super League include AC Milan, Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea, Juventus, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Real Madrid. They all have now a very uncertain future in UEFA competitions. Remember, Chelsea was due to play Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League semi-final. Both teams are likely to be expelled. Manchester City, which was set to play Paris Saint-Germain in the other semi-final, Manchester City is likely to be expelled as well. Well, one piece of positive news before we let you go for the day. A Bengaluru-based paper seed company has invented a mask that grows into a tree after it has been discarded. It's not just that, but the paper seed company founder Nitin Vas has gone one step further and said that these cotton masks are made from recycled cloth. Talking about the idea that brought about that project, Nitin Vas told the Indian Express that masks are essential for humans, but they're also creating problems for other species. We see them lying on the streets and ending up in landfills. But forget that it ends up in the rivers and the oceans, creating irreparable damage for environment and aquatic life. We're going to leave you there right now and bring you to an end of this edition of Just the News. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, stay home. Reach out to people who are currently on social media, helping out with food, with medicines, and helping put you in touch with government also in terms of beds and oxygen and other resources. But the best thing we can do at this point is to wear our masks and stay home if we can help it. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Good night.